Did you know that the Gardener's Workshop offers online courses? Whether you're a gardener or a flower farmer, we cover it all, allowing you to increase your skills at your own pace. So check out our full list of courses today at thegardenersworkshop.com. The Gardener's Workshop, turning all thumbs green.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the Field and Garden Podcast. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler. And friends, you're really in for a treat today. I went to visit another local flower farmer, and I can't wait to share a little bit about her. But first, if this is your first time, I'm really glad you're here. We are here to help you grow cut flowers at all levels, and you can find everything you need over at thegardenersworkshop.com, who actually makes this podcast possible. Over there, you're going to find tons of resources, blogs, videos, as well as you can connect with our two podcasts, which includes this one, Field and Garden, as well as Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. We have a fully stocked online garden shop full of flower seeds, tools, supplies, and my books, as well as we have a full library of online courses for you to select from. So friends, when you're in the need of education or what you need to do it with, we're here for you. So let's talk about today's episode. So I went and visited Emma Mobley in Suffolk, Virginia, and we went over and visited her farm, and what a pleasant surprise it was just to learn all that she's doing. You know, I've gone and visited a couple of farms now, and I'm just so excited for these local farmers. So Emma, who started out a few years back, is actually really evolving her business. For instance, she's kind of modeling her business model around only harvesting and selling during the spring and very early summer, which I think is such a smart idea, as well as she has a flower field that she actually rents to photographers. And we talk about all that in our conversation. So friends, let's take a moment and let's listen to my conversation with Emma Mobley of End of Nowhere Flower Farm. So I'm here with Emma, and Emma, introduce yourself, tell us where we are, what zone you're in, the name of your farm, and kind of just the lay of the land. Where are we?
Okay, so I'm Emma Mobley. I'm the owner of End of Nowhere Flower Farm in Suffolk, Virginia. This is zone 8A. I grow on about an acre on my family's piece of property.
And that's a big piece of family property, if I remember that right.
Yes, it sure is. Over 100 acres in total.
And how long has it been in his family? It's been a long time, right?
It's been a long time. He's been here for about 15 years, and the property next to us, which is our farm property, his grandparents owned for probably 20, 30 years before that.
Wow. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into flower farming, and how does that fit into your life?
So in my previous life, I was a legal assistant, and I lost both my parents to cancer. And so after I lost my parents, my daughter and I moved out here to the farm in 2019, and I took about a year off. I was really struggling with depression, and my father-in-law, he had always gardened, so he had little vegetable gardens. So he started showing me the ropes and teaching me how to grow some things, just squash and okra and tomatoes. And so I started my farming journey there. I just started growing a little vegetable patch for our family. So I grew about 250 feet of vegetables, a long row of vegetables.
That's a lot of vegetables.
A lot of vegetables. I thought that would be enough for our family of three. It was way too much. And I used to work at Bennett's Creek Farmers Market. So I knew the owners there. So I started bringing them like bushel baskets of squash and tomatoes and peppers and selling them there. And I just really found so much joy in growing and harvesting and selling a product. So I started toying with the idea of starting a farm and growing vegetables and selling them. And my father-in-law just shut it down. He was like, you need to keep this as your hobby. You cannot do this. You cannot make money doing this. You need to get a real job. And I'm the kind of person where if somebody tells me I can't do something, for some reason that just propels me in the opposite direction. So I just started brainstorming and trying to figure out how I could possibly make a living at this. And as I was growing, I started healing from, the death of my parents. And so one day I don't know, it was almost like a lightning bolt went off. And I just thought, what about flowers? Where do flowers come from? And I realized I never thought about where the flowers from the grocery store were grown. So I went online and I actually bought your book, Vegetables Love Flowers. And I just went to the library, started renting every single book I could find. I went on YouTube and found all of your information and so much more. And I just kind of went in head first. And this is now my third year of doing this.
That's pretty awesome. So this is your third year, and it's pretty impressive. I just want to say, when I think back to my third year, oh my gosh, it was such a mess. Everything seems so well organized here and uniform, and that's just really a great job. So who are you selling to? I mean, where'd you start, and how has that developed?
So I actually started with a CSA, and I have a little farm stand at the end of my driveway. So I started selling there, and mostly I was selling to just, family and friends, and then occasionally a few neighbors. And then now I'm selling to florists, and I'm also selling do-it-yourself event buckets on my website. I have a farm stand that I open up every Saturday during my season. And then I also have about 45 CSA members this year.
Awesome. I mean, I really love CSAs.
I do too.
They pay ahead.
Yes.
So, it's a sure deal, and they get the cream, right? They get the cream off the top. I mean, when you're harvesting that you need enough for 45 bouquets. Yep. And so that works really, really well. And so I know that you're your innovation, you're always looking to change. You're changing your business model a little this year. So tell us about that and what you're thinking that looks like.
So this year I'm actually trying something new. I'm taking the advice of some more experienced farmers, and I'm taking summers off. So I'll be primarily focusing on spring and fall blooms, and I won't be selling. I'll still be growing in July and August, but I won't be selling stems and harvesting stems.
And, when you think about that, it's like people think, oh, you're taking the summer off. Well, when you harvest, you have to sell them, and that just creates a whole domino of work, right?
Yeah.
And that's a naturally slow time in the flower business for most people. Now, if you live in a destination area where you've got, visitors come in, or if you've built your business for that time of year, it's different. But it's harder to push your flowers. It's hotter. It's humidity, it's pest pressure. It's I think that is just such a smart model. And then to be able, it would be possible to say, take a week vacation.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you have kids, as you have a daughter, that's got it. You have to put your family first, even though it's really easy for a flower farm to gobble that up.
It's really, really easy. You're absolutely right. And I think this is the right call. I feel like my customers have even been showing me last year and the year before, they naturally started slowing down right around July and didn't pick back up until late August. And that's my farm stand and my florist customers too. I think the florists just aren't doing a lot of events just because it's so hot and humid here at this time of year.
Right.
So I kind of just paid attention to what my customers were wanting. And I've just noticed in spring, I sell out every single weekend at the farm stand. And, as soon as it hits late June, early July, my farm stand probably has about half the sales that it had before.
So you've been selling farm stand, CSA, and florist. Have you ever investigated or have the opportunity to, I know a lot of people do consignment in boutique-y kind of stores or health food stores or supermarkets even? Have those been have you tried or just not even gone there yet?
I have not even gone there yet. I have had my flowers not on a consignment level at 2 different shops, at A. Dodson's out in Suffolk, and then also at this shop called Smooth that a friend of mine owns. And it's kind of more of like a self-care, waxing, facial kind of a place.
Right.
So they just didn't do extremely well. And also, I'd like to have my stuff sold by the time it leaves my farm.
Exactly.
So that was the problem that I ran into. And, you know, I should have listened to your advice, because I think you even said you need to make sure that you sell it wholesale, and then it's their job to sell it.
Right.
Because no one's gonna work as hard as I do to get those stems sold. So once I give it to a business, you know, it's hit or miss. I might sell out one week, and then I might sell 3 bouquets the next.
You know, and it's just so good to hear you say that, because I feel like people think, oh, you get so much more money when you sell retail. Well, there's a reason for that. It's hard work.
Yeah.
They don't just sell themselves.
No.
There is a lot of work involved. And so it's just whatever your business model
yeah, it's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of, you know, telling your customers and reminding them. I think they say you have to hear about something 7 times for it to really stick.
Every day.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it's really, really difficult. And especially where I am, you know, the end of nowhere is kind of funny that I chose that name. It's named after my grandparents' farm in Matthews, Virginia. But it's also because we really are in the end of nowhere out here. We're not getting a lot of drive-by traffic. So anybody that's hearing about my farm, they're intentionally coming out to the farm stand. You know, they're not just passing by.
Right. So you're marketing.
Yes, yes.
So everything looks awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It looks so great. And this is asparagus, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it sure is.
And so Suzanne's first question was, have you ever used that foliage? Or
I have thought about it. I read in the specialty cut flower wholesale handling book that you could use it, but
so
I haven't tried yet.
I came here, what year was it? And it wasn't last year, it was the year before, wasn't it? Or it was last spring.
It was last year,
yeah. It was last spring, and you provided the sweet peas, and some, what else did you give me? Oh, some saponaria for the cut flower handbook. Yeah. And I came, and your farm was just busting loose, and I see that it is still just, so how much area do you have under cultivation?
About an acre in total. And I've got some annuals and some perennials, but mostly everything is annuals.
And when did you get that hoop house? That wasn't here last time.
No, it wasn't. I got this in the fall, actually, and I grew ranunculus, anemones, and poppies under cover this year.
And how did that go?
It went so much better than the field grown. It went really, really well. I started off small last year with just about 300 ranunculus, and I made a small little caterpillar tunnel.
We were talking about that you have a new plan for this year.
Yep, I sure do.
And so with that in mind, and that plan is?
So that plan is that I'm going to hit spring and fall really hard, and then I'm going to take a break throughout the summer. So July and early August, I won't be harvesting. So I'll still be tending plants, taking care of the field, but I won't be harvesting any stems.
And selling and everything that is like harvesting is the beginning of the domino, right?
Yes.
That creates. And so that means that you can not only restore a little bit, but you can prepare for another great fall.
Exactly.
You know, and I can remember, oh my goodness, in July, you're thinking, I have to keep up so I can have great fall. And then August comes and just wipes you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially here with the heat and humidity. By July and August, I'm so burnt out, and I feel like I'm just trying to play catch up consistently. So
just walk and tell me about what's in each bed and we'll walk down and then come back up.
Okay, absolutely. So the first row is dahlias. Then I've got some tuberose, some dahlias, and I've got a little buckwheat cover crop planted.
Nice.
This bed I'm flipping, so I'm covering it with a tarp. Then I've got straw flower and dara in the back. This bed has some direct sown zinnias, some Dusty Miller, and then some echinacea.
So how does your Dusty Miller do outside?
So this is my first year growing it outside, so I'm not entirely sure how it's going to do.
I see a lot of growers grow dusty and eucalyptus in their houses on the side.
Yes, I've
you know,
seen
and
that too.
yeah.
I think that's a smarter way to do it, and I think I'll definitely do that. After seeing Butterbee and her patch of eucalyptus in her high tunnel, I think I'm converted after this year.
Did she have a tour? Was she on the ASCFG or just pictures?
Just pictures online. She's done a few talks with the AFCFG.
Yeah. So that looks great. So what eucalyptus is this?
This is the silver drop, I believe.
With a rogue.
Yes,
that
with
one,
a rogue in the middle.
Which is so, silver drop is famous for rogues.
Is it really?
Usually you get much more. I mean, we weed them out. I mean, you can tell in the seedling stage.
Yeah,
I've never grown one out, and that's quite pretty, actually. Maybe we'll do that. I kind of like it.
I wanted to grow it out just to see what it was and see if I liked it. And I like it too. I like the color green that it is.
I kind of almost like it better. It's just different, you know.
Yeah,
it's just a different you know.
Well, and I feel like it would go with more too, and bouquets and have a little more versatility.
And eucalyptus screams fall to me.
Yeah, then I've got a little patch of buckwheat right here. Then we move on to some yarrow, and then I've got some baptisia, some sedum, and then some verbena.
So this is kind of like your perennial bed?
Yeah, my little perennial section. Yeah, just starting off small while I still get the hang of growing and how to keep everything alive.
Right. And so this is mint?
This is all mint, and this is my little daffodil patch. So that's what the crop that I start with in the spring in March. I start with a bunch of different specialty daffodils, and then we've got apple mint, and then it goes down to mojito mint.
So let's look inside your hoop house.
So I covered it with shade in about probably April when we started getting the super high temps. And then after everything was finished, I mowed everything down in the hoop house. And then I've covered it with a tarp to extinguish the weeds. And then I'll do a quick cover crop, probably buckwheat in here. And then I'll fertilize, add compost, and then I'll be planting more ranunculus in the fall.
It's a different world in a hoop house, right? You have to figure out, it's kind of a different process, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And in so many ways, it's been really, really nice. Even just like not worrying about rain. That's one thing that I've noticed. I've thought about doing the Lizzie and building a whole nother hoop house for that. But you're absolutely right. It is a whole nother beast because ventilation, because of how hot and humid we are, even in early spring, April, May. I mean, that's been really, really tricky. And then thank goodness we had shade cloth just ready to go because we got up, I think we got it up to like the 80s in late April. So, I mean, we had the shade cloth ready to go and just pulled it right over top and was able to kind of slow down things and make sure the ranunculus didn't.
And then once you figure out we'll see you have 8 houses next year.
Yeah, I'm already planning for another one. I thought there's no way that I'd be able to fill this whole thing. And then sure enough.
Yeah, people say that about coolers too.
Yeah, they sure do. So then I've got another little row of sunflowers, and then I'll cover sunflowers for all these rows.
And those will be for
Those will be for fall. Yep, those will all be for fall.
So I was going to say, all of you, since you've made the decision to not sell basically for what the world needs to know, you're not selling in July and August.
Yep.
What are you going to do with all that Lysianthus?
I'm trying to push it. I'm trying to push it this week.
So you haven't stopped yet. So it's like, are you going to like shut down when the Lizzie's gone?
As soon as the Lizzie's gone, I'm going to basically shut down.
So tell me about, this is your little Cosmo meadow?
Yes, yeah. So I've got a Cosmo meadow here and then a Cosmo meadow right in front of my little flower cottage. And so
Where's the flower cottage?
Oh, I'll have to show you over there. It's right over here. Yeah, it's my little workshop area. So this is for
really
photographers.
Pretty here.
Yeah, it really is. So I had so many photographers reach out to me my first year asking to come take pictures in the flowers. I don't think any of them realized that
this is it.
This is it. And it's not very picturesque and it's not beautiful. If I'm doing my job right, there shouldn't be blooms in the field.
So you direct sowed.
I direct sowed. I let Mother Nature do her thing. She I haven't watered. She's let the rain come in and I just leave it. Occasionally I'll take a section and take like a weed whacker or like a trimmer and I'll cut down the blooms so that they keep on producing.
And when did you originally plant this?
So I planted this, let's see, April. planted this in
of
April.
this year.
Of this
So
year.
you don't know if it's going to reseed, or you probably won't depend on it reseeding. I don't think it'd be strong enough.
I don't think so either. I did a patch last year. I did that whole patch down there, and not a lot has reseeded. Plus, I'd like to keep something growing there at all times. But I did a patch last year, and it bloomed from July to November.
Oh, wow.
So it kept giving me blooms. And then I rent out the field to photographers. So they're able to just schedule online. I charge a fee per hour, and I just plant it once, let Mother Nature water it in, and that's done.
Right.
So it's one of the easiest
that's awesome
things for a farmer to do.
So here behind us, let's take a look and see what you've got going here. So is this perennial peonies?
So this is peonies and weeds.
That's all right. Just Dave's not here, so you're okay.
Please don't show this.
My peonies weren't watered. He gave me the Dickens, so it just happens. You'll get time. And those look like a lot of annual weeds. They'll die in the winter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's on my never-ending to-do list, you know, to get it while they're young and they're small, and then you know that just goes to the back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. So buckwheat you have planted here.
Yeah, buckwheat planted here.
What is this? Sage? Yeah,
it was clary sage, the pink Sunday mix.
Yeah,
I tried it out this year. I really loved it. And then I've got lemon verbena and pineapple sage, and then status down at the end.
And your status looks so nice.
Thank you. I had Forever Happy here, which I've pulled. Then I have silver here, and then the apricot down here.
Is that Sahara?
Yeah, it sure is.
And zinnias that will probably come on before fall, don't you think?
I think they might. I think you're right. I think they'll probably come on. Oh no.
I just love this flower. We're trying to figure out how to get this to bloom in the fall.
Oh, well, if you please let me know. If you figure it out. I would love, because every single florist that I sell to is like, that'd be perfect for fall.
I know, it's about day length, so we're trying to figure it out. Okay. And I'm sure.
Have you ever left it in the bed and seen if it would come back up?
No, we might try that this year.
Okay.
With a patch of it. But we've just planted some. So some of this late planted, yes, that would be more likely to maybe still perform.
Gotcha. So then
scabby and more zinnias.
Yep, some little scabbiosa.
And this looks like a meadowy kind of thing going on back here.
Yeah, so this was my first photography patch for the spring. So I had lacy phacelia, bachelor's buttons. I had these gorgeous little California poppies in there.
Did you plant this, or did that reseed?
It reseeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, the verbena just doesn't quit.
You know, this is one of the first crops that I grew, I realize now, and I don't know why I stopped planting it several years ago. And I think it's a cool flower, I think.
It is, yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I think that it was so productive, and I was so overwhelmed. I just said, I am never growing that again, and it fell off but I think we definitely need to add that back, because it's even cool at this stage after it's bloomed.
It sure is. Well, and that will bloom all the way to the fall, and it will perennialize in our zone. So you could cut down the plants and it'll just keep on coming back.
And these are just such pretty colors.
They really are.
Just super. And this is really nice for the pollinators and the beneficials and all that stuff.
That's why I've just kind of left it. It looks a little wild and crazy, but
that's okay. We're trying to get used to that, right? And leave it. Let's get over here. Can we get to your Lizzie that way?
Oh, yeah, we sure can.
What color is this? Is this champagne?
It is champagne.
It is beautiful. And so do you maintain it to get blooms in the fall too? Or are you?
I'm trying that this year. Yeah, I actually have a consultation set up with Butterbee, with Laura Resnick. So she's going to talk me through on how she does it.
Oh, good.
But I've heard if you can just cut it back but leave about 4 leaves and then fertilize it, that you'll get a second flush.
Yeah,
that's what smaller blooms.
Dave was talking about that yesterday. The key is you just have to keep it weeded.
Yep.
And that's the challenge, as you know.
Yeah, it sure is.
But yeah. They are so pretty. I love this color.
I love this color too. These guys are shorties though.
What variety is that?
I can't. I can't remember.
And,
Let's see.
one of the things that I learned about using what group it is too, I tend to get all the 3s and 4s that I can for the groups of Lizzie, because that just simply means they have more growing time before they bloom. Not much, but sometimes a week will make all the difference in the world.
You're right, it sure does,
yeah.
especially with stem length. You're absolutely right. That's very smart.
So I'd rather have them all tall.
Yeah,
That's
I would
pretty too.
I do mason jar arrangements in my stand, so I've been able to use those for all my little mason jars.
Sure.
So that's been really, really nice. But yeah, I wouldn't be trying to sell that to a florist. But
You don't think?
guys did.
I think they would. I mean, for that color. Oh yeah, heck yeah.
I'm always nervous
when you have such tall stuff. It makes stuff that's not as tall look short, but that's what most people have. That's what they're getting from the wholesaler.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you're looking for right there.
Okay.
4, 5, 6 leaves. There's a little shoot. You just have to keep it irrigated, watered, and fed,
Yes, and weeded. That's really...
Yeah, there you go. You just have to commit.
Yeah.
Is this Voyager?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Oh my gosh, we have dark purple, blue, and it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful.
Oh,
they look great.
Thank you so much.
They look so pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's got to be my favorite crop. It changes all the time.
Not a fan of these.
Not a fan. See,
was that a rogue?
Yeah, a rogue. Yeah.
Our purple has ivory in it. I mean,
really?
It just happens.
Yeah. Well, and I got one of the Roseanne Browns. Oh man, I'm in love. I have one rogue Roseanne Brown, and I just love it so much.
That's how we had it last year, and Suzanne really liked it. So then you have some annuals.
Yes, I have some
that
annuals.
are finishing, and then stuff you're planting grasses for the fall.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my gosh, do you grow limelight?
I just bought seeds because I saw a video that you did, and yours was spectacular.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a huge fall, really great crop.
Okay, awesome.
Well, everything looks so great out here, and so this is about an acre, and this is your 3rd year.
This is my 3rd year. Yes, ma'am.
So she's the same year as Tori. We went to Tori's farm.
Yeah.
I just can't even believe it. And I see it at your farm. So much growth since last year when I was here. The same with her farm.
Thank you.
I mean, just leagues ahead of where I was in my 3rd year. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's thanks to you. It's thanks to you and all of your knowledge and how generous you are.
Well, thank you. But it's
true.
It just makes it easier when somebody tells you a few tips, right?
It really does. It really does. And it cuts through all the noise. I feel like that's what your courses do. Because you can get so lost in everybody's advice on the internet.
And then it's like, whose advice do you really listen to? I mean, in the business world, I understand it because I'm trying to find help for our big picture of our business. And it's like, all right, does that person really know what they're talking about? And then you try to vet them. And then while you're vetting them, you go down a rabbit hole, and it's like you've really gained no information, but I've spent 3 hours trying to find the information. So I understand that drives us to provide and to be that voice, the reliable voice. This is really pretty here.
Oh, thank you.
This is the stage of farming that I love. I love when stuff is just on the verge.
Yeah, I do too.
And that's why I farm, because I'm a flower farmer, because we're always cutting and keeping that look,
I love it all though. I love the little transplant stage.
Yes.
When the whole bed is filled with beautiful
little soldiers just lined up. I mean, I see down there where you cut something clean, and it's like, I mean, it's that whole organization thing.
Yes, you're absolutely right. About the only part I don't like is when everything's gone to bloom and it's been blooming for several weeks and it's right at the end. That's the stage where I'm like, okay,
unruly.
I need to cut it out.
Yeah, it's unruly. It just really derails me. So it just really looks beautiful.
Thank you. This is Neil's Man Cave Wood Shop, which I took over with my flower business last year. So he kicked me out this spring and built me a little attachment on.
Oh yeah. So nice to have a carport.
Oh, so nice. Yeah, especially for hardening off all my seedlings. Such a good idea. And that we stole from you.
You know, and it's like you don't get everything at once. It evolves.
Yeah.
You know? So I started farming in 1998. Our building was built in 2002. It's like once you're, okay, I'm doing this, then you can start developing.
Yeah, like committed. Once you're committed.
Yeah. That's a great banner. Where do you ever use that? I mean, does that just live here? Or?
It's just, we've used it for little pop-ups, and Neil was like, we need to just put it up so that it's not just gathering dust inside. Yeah. So we've used it for little pop-up events. I really don't want to do farmers markets.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little selfish with my time. I want to be home on the weekends. So we just do the little farm stand.
But you have to be selfish with your time.
Yeah, yeah. It's really...
Because nobody else is going to be.
No, you're absolutely right.
Have you seen the new book by Hannah, The Wreath Room Girl?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you'll have this whole place full of drives.
Oh,
if you want
I'm
to.
excited. Oh, I'm really excited.
The book that started it all, The Flower Farmer.
Well, and the book that started it all for me is this one, The Vegetables Love Flowers.
Was it really?
Yours, yeah. I had a family friend recommended you, and so I went to the library and rented your book. And so that's really where most all of this began.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. You should see a few of your books on there.
Yeah.
Got My Cool Flowers. Got Lenny's new book.
Yeah. We just launched a course with her. It is phenomenal.
Oh, I know. I already bought it. I'm already halfway through.
You know, I mean, it's like it just makes such good sense.
Yes, it really does. Well, and I love that she comes through the business side, because I feel like your course was perfect for really getting the business side, the marketing, and getting the
little
growing.
Taste of all of it.
Yes, yes. It was a perfect foundation, and then hers, I just feel like builds on that. Yeah. I've really been enjoying it.
So you're growing floret.
Yep, growing floret seeds.
Have any of them bloomed? I mean, have you?
Yeah, I've been cutting on all through late May, early June. Her Alpenglow and the honey mix, they were perfect. The perfect colors for my
colors
florist.
for florists.
Yeah, great germination.
Awesome.
They were really perfect.
So you even have air conditioning.
Yeah, we tried to go without the air conditioning. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I can just suffer through it. I can do it. And we made it to about May. I was like, okay, never mind.
I didn't really say that.
No, I didn't really say that.
So this is where you bring all, is that a cooler?
Yeah, this is a cooler.
Let's open that thing up and look.
Awesome.
Is it a cool bot?
Yep, cool bot. You want to walk on in? Lots of Lizzies in there. So yeah, so I make bouquets here. I lay out all my ingredients, make bouquets. I've got all my supplies for my farm stand, brown craft paper, flower food, tea bags, holding solution. Then I've got a little grow area set up in here. Stella, you are being so curious and brave today.
And isn't it amazing how much you can grow in this little space when you soul block?
Yes,
that's a great setup.
Thank you, thank you. Well, it's copying your setup, honestly. I'm just so thankful, because before I started growing in the plug trays, and I can't fit anything in a plug tray. I could fit 2 of those on one shelf.
Yeah.
And this way I can fit.
Yeah. And it's just easier to water, and it just is a more streamlined.
Yes.
Is what I have gathered. So this is all stuff to bloom for fall.
Yep, this is all stuff to bloom for fall. Yeah.
And this is late June that we're talking for people to get in. I mean, that's the most challenging thing, I think, for some people, is to really figure out how late can I plant? You know, they really they struggle with that. So I think people seeing, oh my gosh, you have baby plants, you're still planting. They thought it was late 2 months ago, you know. They felt like in May, they've missed their chance, and nothing could be further right from the truth.
You're absolutely right about that. Well, and it's really just count back.
Right.
Figure out when you want
calendars.
something. Yeah,
it's calendars, right?
Exactly. Figure out when you want something blooming and just count back. And you're absolutely right. Just put it in the calendar, make a note in your phone. You can set an alarm, and then you know when to start your stuff.
Yep. Super easy. This is super nice.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where you're going?
You know, I see a few more tunnels in my future. I see a few more hoop houses, and I think I'll really just be focusing a lot on, I'd like to be focusing a lot more on florist sales. I love my CSA customers. I think I'll keep that aspect of my business, but I love being able to harvest buckets full of stems, deliver them to a designer, and see what kind of magic they create with them.
It's true. Florists were definitely, well, they were my first customers. And I think sometimes it helps you what you learn with, but they were reliable. I mean, our customers ordered every week. It was a sure market. And yeah, I sold to the people that used flowers every day of their business life. And there's a lot of benefit in that. So Emma, is there anything else you would like to add that I haven't asked you about your journey that
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to you, honestly. You know, you talk about where you were in 3 years versus where I am. And the reason why I am where I am is because of you and all of the information that you've shared. I've taken your, you know, how to force bulbs course. I've taken your flower farming course. I've taken the new course with Lenny, the flower farming for profit. I've taken your seed starting course. I've read all your books, watched all your YouTube videos, and honestly, Lisa, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. You just cut through all of the noise on the internet and are able to streamline my business and really cut to what I need to be focusing on. And I'm just really thankful for you.
Well, I appreciate it. It helps to hear that it helps people.
It definitely does.
So it's just been a pleasure to be here. And Stella has been a perfect guest.
Yes, she has.
And she is a good little girl here. And it's just a beautiful place. And I just love what you've built here.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming.